I'm sure lots of you probably played the biggest Star Wars game of 2019, Jedi Fallen Order, and if you didn't, you would have probably watched some gameplay on YouTube and heard about how the game was a huge success. One of the standout Star Wars games released in the last decade, I think we can all agree. If you're familiar with my channel, you'd know how much I've played Fallen Order, how much I enjoy the game, but that's not to say I'm not without my criticisms, and that's a bit of what I'm going to be talking about today. Since Jedi Fallen Order was released, there's one other game that's really stood out to me that I think set the example for future third-person action-adventure games. One other game released in that time, Ghost of Tsushima, or Caramel Sushi as my girlfriend calls it. Caramel is the name of the horse, and sushi is, well, I guess it's this. I don't know. This game gets so much right when it comes to world exploration, combat, cosmetic unlocks, story progression, and there's a lot of crossover elements between the two. So today, I'm going to be looking at 5 ways Jedi Fallen Order's sequel could learn from Ghost of Tsushima. 5 things the second Jedi Fallen Order could do differently to merge these two games into the ultimate Jedi experience. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Now, some people have the opinion that Jedi Fallen Order is an overhyped, overrated Star Wars game. Some people believe that everyone was so thirsty for a lightsaber game for 10 years that when Jedi Fallen Order released, it received nothing but praise and adoration. I personally think it's a great game, but there's plenty of room for improvement. It also feels like the first game in a series, like it's setting the foundations for something much larger and deeper to come. For those of you who aren't familiar with Ghost of Tsushima, you play as Jin Sakai, a samurai warrior, and attempt to defend Tsushima Island, which is a real place, during the first invasion of Japan in the year 1274. The Jedi were largely influenced by the samurai, upholding societal values and protecting those in need. Anyway, just today, Ghost of Tsushima received a major update called Legends, an online co-op mode, an idea I'd love to see developed for Fallen Order, because can you imagine something like this with lightsabers? So I think we should start with combat. Now, playing on a controller, these games are both designed for controller, not sure why anyone would play either of these with a mouse and keyboard. Both control systems in each of these are pretty much the same. On a PS4 controller, square is your standard attack, triangle is heavy attack, circle is roll and dodge, and X is jump, the same for both games. L1 is also block and parry, R1 in Jedi Fallen Order is force slow, in Ghost of Tsushima this is your throwables like the kunai, the little knife things you throw. L2 in Fallen Order is force pull, and in Ghost of Tsushima it's your bow and arrow aiming, and R2 is force push and either shoot arrow in Ghost of Tsushima or the menu where you choose the fighting stance you wish to fight with. And this is where Ghost of Tsushima distinguishes itself and does something really unique. There are 4 different stances to unlock in this game, each with different benefits against certain enemies. And your character will perform different moves and hold the sword differently depending on which of these you have selected. Stone stance is the one you start with. This is effective against regular swordsmen. Water stance is effective against shieldmen. Wind stance effective against spearmen, and moon stance effective against brutes. Now, can you imagine something like this in Jedi Fallen Order? Well, Fallen Order tackles combat variety in its own way. Not too far into the game, you unlock the double-bladed lightsaber, which is basically like adding another tool to your arsenal and is more effective against certain enemies. Although the double blade deals less damage than the single, suddenly you're capable of unlocking more abilities and combos on the skill tree and feel like you've become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. But honestly, in the lead up to Jedi Fallen Order's release, before we'd even played the game, I was hoping we'd see more variety in lightsaber stances and hoped the game would give us different ways of fighting, because even in 2003's Jedi Academy, we had the option to choose between 3 different stances and single, double, and dual blades. Although the combat system in this old game might not be as refined as Jedi Fallen Order, I think it's fair to say there is more here in terms of variety and customization. Although Fallen Order takes the win for best cosmetic lightsaber customization. Love the amount of parts you can collect in this game. All the different colors too, amazing. I know a lot of people still wish Cal could keep his lightsabers separated once you unlock the dual wield attacks and not just go dual wield during combo moves. I can see this as a way forward for the next game, but would also love to see something like Ghost of Tsushima's stances implemented into the game. The Jedi have so many different lightsaber styles, it'd be a shame not to see these involved as Cal improves his Jedi skills. And this could be how they develop more of the combat combat system and progression, which is what I'm about to talk about now. For me, Ghost of Tsushima gets this so right. The pace at which you unlock new moves on the skill tree, learn each of the different stances, and move through the game's story is the perfect drip feed of content. You have enough time to try out new moves before you choose to unlock others, and the flow of the game feels natural and organic. Combat itself can become repetitive at times, especially when you're facing similar enemies, of which there are only several different types. That's something Fallen Order definitely has over this game, a lot of variety in enemies. But you can also mix up combat in this game with your other items, like the bow and arrow, with different types of arrows and throwables like shot grenades and wind chimes and a bunch of other stuff. There's a lot here. Jedi Fallen Order's skill progression is heavily bound to the story itself, and that's where I think this falls apart a little bit. You learn each of the game's force moves and a few other abilities at different points in the story. You unlock the dual blades as part of Cal's journey. It's all heavily plot driven, which is also why the new game plus mode in Jedi Fallen Order is less enticing. There's less motivation to come back and replay through the story because you only get to keep your cosmetics and have to unlock all of Cal's abilities again as you play through. So I guess my question is, how are they going to make skill progression in the second game work? Cal is already a Jedi, and I would hate, I'm sure we'd all hate, if they pulled the classic, he forgot everything he knows, you need to learn everything again. I really doubt they'd do that. It's the 2020s, man. Come on. So in order to have a new skill tree with new abilities to unlock, the developers will need to add more variety. Give us the single blade, the double, the dual wield options. Give us more advanced abilities. Perhaps taking elements from the Force Unleashed games, the ability to pick up multiple enemies at once and throw them around with the Force instead of just a single enemy. Give us different lightsaber stances and skills to evolve. Allow us to learn these and pepper these throughout the game with the option to unlock it at our own pace and not that determined by the story. Cal is a Jedi already, so we don't need to go back to that flashback and learn how to force pull again. Take inspiration from Ghost of Tsushima and allow us to master the variety in the skill tree. Next up, we have the world design. Jedi Fallen Order falls into what's called the Metroidvania genre. It's not really open world, nor is it linear. Instead, you have the option to travel to all different parts of its worlds, across its different planets, but have to retrace your steps to explore new areas you couldn't access before, or use new unlocked abilities to open new pathways on your adventure. It's really old school like this. Not too many modern games are built like this, on this scale anyway. But that said, apart from the main story and unlocking all the collectibles, there's not much else to do in the worlds of Fallen Order. Ghost of Tsushima takes a different direction, offering a more classic open world style game. At any time in the story, you can take your horse and travel pretty much anywhere you like within each of its 3 regions anyway. Some sections you can't access unless you complete certain parts of the story, you progress, you unlock more of the map, but at any point you can go on side missions, side quests, unlock other collectibles, and pretty much explore as you please. The map doesn't quite have the same density as a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA 5, but it's a big step up from Jedi Fallen Order, which when I think of it is more dungeon and puzzle based. Both games feature elements of platforming with decent climbing mechanics, but it's mainly the side missions and openness of Ghost of Tsushima that I really wish we'd seen more of in Fallen Order. Hopefully we will in the sequel. Once you've unlocked all the lightsaber customizations, ponchos, BD1 skins, scanned everything in the databank for those completionists out there, that's kind of it for this game. Which brings me to my next point, the end game content. What's left to do after you complete the actual story? For Fallen Order, there's very little. Unlock everything and the game is done. We did get the surprise combat challenges game mode, which I'm a big fan of, but for a lot of people, I think this was released a little too late after the game's actual release. By the time this dropped, it was about 6 months after Jedi Fallen Order was already out, so too many players had already moved on and wouldn't necessarily find the motivation to come back to play just to fight in an arena mode. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Ghost of Tsushima Legends is this game's answer to endgame content, because like Fallen Order, once you complete the story, side missions, and unlock unlock all the collectibles, there's not too much left to do in this game. Fallen Order's story runs for roughly 25 hours, as does Ghost of Tsushima's, but that's if you don't complete all the objectives and side missions. In total, Ghost of Tsushima I think on average goes for around 50 hours if you do all the extra stuff as well, but Legends changes that. This online co-op update comes with two different modes. A story mode, in which you partner up with either a friend or another random player and play through a series of challenges. And the survival mode, which is basically a zombie-style game mode. You and 3 other players need to fight off waves of attacking enemy ghosts across different maps. As you start Legends, there are 4 different classes to choose from, each with their own set of weapons, gadgets, and abilities: the Samurai, Hunter, Assassin, and Ronin. But now, can you just imagine a game mode like this in a Star Wars setting? You could do Order 66, you could have waves of clones coming to attack a group of Jedi and as a team have to defend and fight for survival. You could do it on Dathomir with Zabrax or with any of the other creatures and monsters in this game. That's one thing, like I said, Fallen Order definitely has over Ghost of Tsushima: variety in enemies and bosses. Put a co-op survival game mode in Jedi Fallen Order, even give us the ability to create our own survival matches and choose which enemies we face, and you're dreaming, mate. This would be amazing. What a game that'd be. And it'd be something I guarantee would keep players coming back for months and months. How hard could it be to build online co-op using the game's pre-existing combat challenges mode? Surely this could evolve into something like this. EA were very adamant that Fallen Order was a single player only game, but that doesn't necessarily need to be the direction this game takes. Let's take this thing online with a simple co-op zombie style game mode. Survival Man. Battlefront had it. Now, I want to also just talk about customization, because I'm sure a lot of us felt Fallen Order's customization was very limited in terms of appearances and outfits for Cal. It was amazing at lightsaber customization, but outfits not so much. 4 different base outfits and only ponchos to choose from. Thanks to the amazing modding community for this game, we've seen some much more creative customization and traditional Jedi appearances added, for PC players that is, but I think Ghost of Tsushima does a great job of including cosmetic customization in its character development. One of my favorite mechanics in this game: as you visit different regions of Tsushima, you'll be prompted to write haikus.
Towering above, heading to uncertainty, fleeing warmth and light.
Love this so much. It's so funny. Love it. Such a change of pace. And after each haiku, you'll unlock a different headband, different colors, different patterns. I love this. But you also have different options for armor, katana sheaths, hats, clothes, and other items. There's enough here to make your character truly yours and unique. And this is something we need to see more of in Jedi Fallen Order sequel. If the modding community can do such a good job of this, so too can the developers. With all that said, I love both of these games. Each provide a unique experience in a similar genre, and both can learn from one another. For me, a combination of these two games would make the ultimate Star Wars Jedi game. But what do you guys think? Have you played Ghost of Tsushima? What do you want to see in Jedi Fallen Order sequel? Do you think it can learn from Ghost of Tsushima? Do you want to see elements from both games? And I'd love to make more videos about this game, so if you enjoyed this, let me know, and maybe I'll dive a little deeper. A lot of Easter eggs and other stuff going on there too. I'd love to check that stuff out. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord for more on Star Wars gaming, and gaming in general. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.